welcome to E-Town News, जहां आपको मिलेगा डेली डोज ऑफ बॉलीवुड न्यूज, फैशन ट्रेंड्स, टीवी एंड सोशल मीडिया से जुड़े हर अपडेट. A show which gives you the day's lowdown of all the best happenings in the world of glamour. तो इंतजार किस बात का? Let's take a look at today's headlines.
Harnaaz Sandhu returns to India to crown successor as Miss Diva Universe. Vijay Deverakonda spills the beans on his equation with Mike Tyson on the sets of Liger. Rudrani Chaturaj chats with cast of The Lord of the Rings of Power. मिस यूनिवर्स 2021 हरनाज कौर संधू एयरपोर्ट पर आई नजर. हरनाज कौर संधू मिस डीवा 2022 का ग्रैंड फिनाले करेंगी अटेंड. हरनाज कौर संधू ने अपने एयरपोर्ट लुक से किया सभी को इम्प्रेस. मिस यूनिवर्स 2021 हरनाज कौर संधू फाइनली अपनी कंट्री लौट आई हैं. रिसेंटली हरनाज कौर संधू को मुंबई एयरपोर्ट पर शटरबग्स ने किया कैप्चर. हरनाज कौर संधू पिछले काफी समय से अक्रॉस द ग्लोब ट्रैवल कर रही थी एंड वाज फुलफिलिंग हर ड्यूटीज एज द रेनिंग मिस यूनिवर्स 2021. लेकिन अब गॉर्जियस मिस यूनिवर्स 2021 सिटी ऑफ ड्रीम्स में है और हरनाज कौर संधू के मुंबई आने की वजह भी बहुत खास है, as she will be on an official deputation to attend the grand crowning ceremony of Miss Diva 2022 and 67th Wolf 777 News Filmfare Awards. वैसे मिस यूनिवर्स 2021 हरनाज कौर संधू was crowned with the coveted title in December last year, जिसके बाद दुनिया भर में अपने फैंस से हरनाज कौर संधू को खूब सारा प्यार मिला. हरनाज कौर संधू सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू अपने फैंस के साथ कनेक्टेड रहती हैं. रिसेंटली उन्होंने अपने इंस्टाग्राम पर अपने फोटोशूट का एक वीडियो भी पोस्ट किया था, जिसमें हरनाज कौर संधू व्हाइट कलर की शर्ट में पोज करती दिख रही हैं. हरनाज कौर संधू के इस वीडियो को उनके फैंस ने खूब प्यार दिया. हरनाज कौर संधू अपने लुक्स और स्टाइल से अपने फैंस को दीवाना बना देती हैं और हरनाज कौर संधू के रीसेंट एयरपोर्ट लुक ने भी उनके फैंस को कर दिया इम्प्रेस. आप देख ही सकते हैं ब्लेजर विद सिल्वर बॉटम्स एंड गॉगल्स में हरनाज कौर संधू की सिंप्लिसिटी का कोई जवाब नहीं है एंड येट शी इज लुकिंग स्टाइलिश. यहाँ हरनाज कौर संधू ने अपनी ब्यूटीफुल स्माइल के साथ सभी को ग्रीट किया और मिस यूनिवर्स का यही अंदाज उनके मिलियंस फैंस की धड़कनें तेज करने के लिए काफी होता है. फिल्म लाइगर में अनन्या पांडे की एक्टिंग को किया गया ट्रोल. एक बार फिर अपनी खराब एक्टिंग के लिए अनन्या पांडे हुई ट्रोल. नेटिजन्स ने फिल्म मेकर्स को अनन्या पांडे को फिल्म में कास्ट ना करने की दी सलाह. अनन्या पांडे और एक्टर विजय देवराकोंडा की फिल्म लाइगर हो चुकी है रिलीज. ऐसे में जहां एक तरफ विजय देवराकोंडा को इस फिल्म में उनकी एक्टिंग के लिए किया जा रहा है प्रेस, वहीं अनन्या पांडे को उनकी खराब परफॉर्मेंस के लिए जमकर ट्रोल किया जा रहा है. फिल्म में अनन्या पांडे की एक्टिंग लोगों को जरा भी पसंद नहीं आई. ऐसे में सोशल मीडिया पर लोगों ने ये तक कह दिया कि अनन्या पांडे एक एक्टिंग मटेरियल नहीं है और फिल्म मेकर्स को तो उन्हें फिल्म्स में कास्ट भी नहीं करना चाहिए. ऐसे में अनन्या पांडे को ट्रोल करते हुए एक सोशल मीडिया यूजर ने लिखा #Liger is definitely a bad movie. But what made it a unbearable torture film for me is the acting of #Ananya Panday. Please avoid casting Bollywood actress in Telugu films. वहीं another user wrote, वाह क्या एक्टिंग है स्ट्रगल क्वीन, #अनन्या पांडे की, कोई ऑस्कर दो इन्हें. ऐसे में एक और सोशल मीडिया यूजर ने लिखा, My toothbrush can give better expressions than Ananya Panday's expressions in Liger. वैसे ये पहली बार नहीं है जब अनन्या पांडे को उनकी एक्टिंग के लिए ट्रोल किया गया है. इससे पहले भी कई बार उन्हें खराब एक्टिंग की वजह से ट्रोलर्स का सामना करना पड़ा है. हालांकि फिल्म में विजय देवराकोंडा अपनी परफॉर्मेंस से ऑडियंस का दिल जीतने में कामयाब हुए हैं। ऐसे में विजय देवराकोंडा ने आइकॉनिक बॉक्सर माइक टायसन के साथ अपने वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस को शेयर करते हुए कहा, "He abused me a lot, albeit lovingly, in English, and I can't even repeat what he said to me. But yes, I had a good time with him." Vijay Deverakonda further informed that Mike Tyson likes Indian food and music, however, is not too fond of the crowds here. He was quoted saying he loves India a lot for its food, music and people. In fact, he used to ask us to bring Indian food for him, which he enjoyed a lot. But yes, he's scared of the crowd here. वैसे फिल्म लाइगर की कास्ट अपने चार्जेस को लेकर भी न्यूज में है। रिपोर्टेडली जहां विजय देवराकोंडा ने फिल्म के लिए 35 करोड़ चार्ज किए हैं, वहीं अनन्या पांडे को फिल्म के लिए 3 करोड़ मिले हैं। ऑन द अदर हैंड, फिल्म की सोल माने जाने वाली राम्या कृष्णन ने 1 करोड़ और रोनित रॉय ने 1.5 करोड़ रिपोर्टेडली चार्ज किए हैं। ऐसे में देखना ये होगा कि अनन्या पांडे अपने ट्रोलर्स को क्या जवाब देती हैं।
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guests today are very special. They come from a far, far place. And this is going to be really exciting because you all have loved Lord of the Rings. And now we have the Rings of Power and the cast joining us. This is so exciting. How does it feel to be in India?
We love it here. It's been such a warm welcome.
Ate something interesting, did something till now, not yet?
No, we've sort of just been trapped in the hotel.
I hope you get
Beautiful
to do some
food.
Oh yeah.
You did?
We went to a restaurant last night and we had some delicious food and it's just the hospitality here is incredible.
I love that. Isn't it so interesting that you've joined the cast? You've done some incredible work.
Thank you.
Also, I feel like now that representation is truly being taken seriously, I feel like there are such diverse characters which are truly exciting. What do you have to say about that? And of course, your inclusion here also gives so much more and takes that a step further.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the beauty of this show is that everybody was cast authentically because they were the perfect person for the role. It's impossible to watch this. We've seen the first 3 episodes and it's impossible to watch this without knowing and seeing that everybody was cast perfectly in those roles.
Yeah.
And that's what diversity is to me, is the opportunity for people to be able to shine in roles that they're meant to play, regardless of their ethnicity or race. And this fellowship, when you look at it on screen, these are people from different creeds and cultures coming together, different beings, races, joining forces in a fellowship. And what better way to do that than authentically bring together a group of people from diverse backgrounds.
Shows like this also show sometimes how in our world, when we're living in, there are differences that happens and like racism and things like that. And I feel like, very quietly, the show also sort of encapsulates that parallelly. Do you also think that? And I feel like, because the tension that they show between 2 races and then finally making alliances, I feel like it's very telling of what happens around us.
I think that Tolkien, he loved to tell stories of hope and love and trust. And I think the story between the elves and humans, though it can be interpreted in that way, I like to interpret it as a way of, no matter who you are, you can still love and you can still trust and you can, still come together.
Yeah, it's universal. I think that's the beauty of fantasy. It allows us to comfortably explore our existential longing. That belongs to all of us, and it's timeless and universal.
It's lovely, and I'm looking forward to the series. You guys are amazing. I'm going to make you do something. I want to look at the camera.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. You want to give India some love, right?
Yes.
So we're going to say बहुत प्यार. We're going to do this and say बहुत प्यार, which means lots of love. So India, बहुत प्यार.
India, बहुत प्यार.
India, बहुत प्यार.
So we're going to do it together.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
India, बहुत प्यार.
You all loved Lord of the Rings, and the Rings of Power is back, and he plays such an important character. I'm talking about Charles.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How does it feel to be in India finally?
It feels great. I just wish there was more time. It's a very speedy tour we're doing. We're doing a lot of interviews and, bringing the show with us. And next time I will stay longer for sure.
India has a lot of Lord of the Rings fans, and they really, really, the ones who've read the books, the ones who watched all the movies. So I think everybody is really looking forward to what has happened to the characters. Now I feel, so even if you watched and you're a fan, you want to know what happens. You don't really know everything, do you?
No, you don't. And remember, our show is set in the Second Age,
exactly,
which is 3,000 or 4,000 years before the events of Peter Jackson's films. So we see the characters that we know from the films, of which there are a few, but they're very, very different people, and we see them young. We see young Elrond, young Galadriel, and they've got a long way to go before they reach the incarnations that we see in the films. But then also we see a lot of new characters mentioned by Tolkien and others who weren't.
If you weren't playing this, which by the way, of course, which character would you have liked to play?
Oh, tricky. Tricky.
And why? You have to explain why.
I always wanted to play. When I was 9 years old, I wrote a play of The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And I wanted to play Sam, Frodo's friend. That was the part that I really wanted to play.
That's an adorable part.
Yeah. And my mum gave me a typewriter and for my birthday, and I typed it all out with one finger. And I wish I still had the manuscript, but I don't. But I wrote the play and I cast the play with friends from school, and we were going to do it, but we didn't do it for whatever reason. But I wrote Sam for myself because I think I was drawn to his heart and his heart on his sleeve and his goodness. Celebrimbor does not have those qualities.
He doesn't. But you've been manifesting this for a really long time. It was almost like you were meant to be a part of Lord of the Rings.
I know, but this is why, for many of us, it's so true. For many of us, it comes full circle, and you never get rid of, particularly as an actor, you never get rid of that 9-year-old in yourself that marvels at the world, because that's what we do. We replicate human behaviour and all its oddities. But to walk on the set and see that stuff, I mean, it's full circle.
You were always Team Elves, weren't you?
I was always
Team Elf.
Team Elves. Absolutely.
Who wants to be human?
There's no doubt about that. I hear there's been some discussion in other rooms about the elf. Yeah, but they can, they keep banging on about Numenor in the other rooms. We're fed up with Numenor.
Elves are the best.
Elves are the best. Elves rock.
When you all were while making of it, were there conversations on the set about how, I hope that they connect in the way that you all have been connecting and creating, because social media today is tricky, right? And reactions are severe. It's instant. So have you all been ever discussing all of that, and how do you look at that world now? Because it's a part of the world that you're creating today.
It's a part of the world. I don't really go there myself.
You don't at all.
A little, but not much. It's an inevitable part of it, of course. But I think anything that's people are so passionate about it, and I think any animated discussion, to put it mildly, about Tolkien is to be welcomed, because there is room for so many theories, and as long as it exhibits people's passion and people are kind and don't go down certain routes, which we've seen a little bit of, we don't want any of that. Then it's all good. It's all for the good.
Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power cast is here, and I'm sure you guys are excited. Welcome to India.
Thank you
so much. I think we need you for the voiceover, the way you said Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. I think that's going to go with the promo.
This is a huge compliment, Lloyd. You were just being nice, aren't you?
True story. True story.
But thank you. And I'm really excited, honestly, because, the kind of fan following that Lord of the Rings has in India is amazing. But before I begin, how's India been till now? Have you get to do anything?
Maxim Baldry has had his first Indian poppadom, and he's still recovering from spice.
Do you know what?
Well,
in London,
Poppadom.
Well, listen, but in London it's not that spicy, and here I just literally walked past. It looked really tasty, so I just grabbed a little bite, and just mouth is on fire.
It's given him a lot more energy than he had at the beginning of the morning.
It's like a bit of rocket.
I mean, it is meant to be spicy.
Oh, it is.
I love spicy food. I'm sure you'll get used to it.
Okay,
the spices are so important part of our lives.
No, I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
You're okay, right? There you go.
We haven't had
so
much.
Lloyd and Emma, now you have to try something spicy. Try some street food, okay?
Yes, I'm looking for, and I've worked in India before, so I'm trying to tell these two, trying to get out there, and we haven't got much time, but when we do have a chance just to get out into Mumbai where we are and just experience the city. And
So tell them.
Pani puri is what I wanted to have.
Pani puri. So and
Yeah.
tell them to make it tikha. Say pani puri tikha.
There
Say
you go.
tikha. So it's like
Tikka.
spicy.
Yeah.
Tikha.
How
Lot of cosmos. Because the fans get to see an aspect that they probably haven't and have not read about so much per se when it comes to all of your characters, right?
Yeah, especially I'm brand new.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his is slightly more, there's a background to it and all of that.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. There's a freedom there. There's, another actor's performance isn't sort of, ghosting behind you the whole time. But it's been lovely. Patrick and JD have written a very complicated character for me, and I feel like sometimes that's not the case when you hope that she's been inserted. I'm rambling so much. I'm so sorry.
Good, I get it. Everything. I'm listening very intently.
Yes.
You're all right. Please go ahead.
At the end of the day, it was important to create a believable family, and within families there's conflict, and on this island there's political conflict, and it's sort of JD and Patrick added her to sort of give us an intimate view of conflicting philosophies on the island within a family, and how that can tear families apart.
Also, I hope the women here have more agency.
She definitely does.
I love that. Because I think in the beginning, how the series went, the Lord of the Rings were, there were lesser women in that perspective, but I think eventually they grew. But this, I think, is so apt because I was so excited about the female characters. You want to add something to it?
Yeah, I just wanted to say is the danger there sometimes is just to add a female, exactly. And that's not the case.
There you go. Okay, we are going to make sure the sisterhood is strong. Okay, thank you. I think they're all well behaved. Thank you so much. Sending you lots of love. And namaste. Thank you.
Coming up on the show, Sonali Phogat's death took a new turn with the autopsy report claiming injuries over her body. सोनाली फोगाट की पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट आई सामने। सोनाली फोगाट के मर्डर केस में सस्पेक्ट्स को गोवा पुलिस ने किया अरेस्ट। सोनाली फोगाट का डांस वीडियो हुआ वायरल। सोनाली फोगाट के मर्डर केस में एक नई डेवलपमेंट सामने आई है। इस केस में गोवा पुलिस ने 2 अक्यूज्ड को अरेस्ट कर लिया है, जिसमें सोनाली फोगाट के पीए सुधीर सागवान एंड उनके फ्रेंड सुखविंदर वासी शामिल हैं। रिसेंटली एक्ट्रेस और पॉलिटिशियन सोनाली फोगाट की डिमाइस से सभी को बड़ा शॉक लगा था। माना जा रहा था कि मैसिव हार्ट अटैक की वजह से उनकी जान चली गई। हालांकि इस इंसिडेंट के बाद जब सोनाली फोगाट को गोवा के एक हॉस्पिटल में ले जाया गया तो उनकी डेथ हो चुकी थी, जिसके बाद गोवा पुलिस ने इस केस में अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन शुरू कर दी थी। अब सोनाली फोगाट की पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट सामने आई है, जिसमें उनकी बॉडी पर मल्टीपल ब्लंट फोर्स इंजरीज मेंशन की गई हैं। आपको बता दें, सोनाली फोगाट की फैमिली ने लगातार इसे एक मर्डर बताया है। साथ ही सोनाली फोगाट के ब्रदर रिंकू ढाका alleged that his sister was also raped by her personal assistant Sudhir Sagwan and his friend Sukhwinder Vasi. He also said that his sister had spoken to her mother, sister and brother-in-law hours before her demise. यही नहीं, सोनाली फोगाट के ब्रदर ने आगे ये भी कहा कि सोनाली फोगाट का गोवा जाने का कोई इंटेंशन नहीं था, लेकिन एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी के थ्रू उन्हें वहां ले जाया गया। ऐसे में अब जब सोनाली फोगाट की ऑटोप्सी में भी उनकी बॉडी पर इंजरीज के निशान मिले हैं, तो गोवा पुलिस ने सुधीर सागवान और सुखविंदर वासी को, जो सोनाली फोगाट के साथ गोवा में मौजूद थे, उन्हें अपनी कस्टडी में ले लिया है। वैसे सोनाली फोगाट का एक वीडियो भी सामने आया है। इस वीडियो में सोनाली फोगाट अपने एसोसिएट्स के साथ डांस करती नजर आ रही हैं। इस वीडियो में साफ नजर आ रहा है कि सोनाली फोगाट डांस करते वक्त अनकंफर्टेबल फील कर रही हैं और बार-बार खुद को छुड़ाती भी नजर आ रही हैं। सोनाली फोगाट रियलिटी शो बिग बॉस सीजन 14 में आ चुकी हैं, जिसके बाद उन्हें और ज्यादा पॉपुलैरिटी मिल गई। इसके अलावा सोनाली फोगाट सोशल मीडिया पर भी काफी एक्टिव थी, लेकिन उनकी सडन डिमाइस से उनके फॉलोअर्स सदमे में हैं और सोनाली फोगाट के मर्डर केस में जस्टिस के लिए प्रे कर रहे हैं।